It was almost 11 p.m. when Rahul, Tanmay, and Abhi, 3 friends, were returning from the city. They stopped at an unfamiliar roadside eatery as their car had a punctured tire. A dim light flickered overhead, and the shadows of a dense jungle seemed to dance in the wind. The eatery bore the name Burro by Dhaba. A withered old man, who appeared to be the owner, sat silently with an uncanny sorrow in his eyes. The friends sat on a cot to take a rest. It was then that the old man whispered, "Where you come from isn't important, but from here, people don't leave." Rahul chuckled. "Are you trying to scare us?" The old man glanced at a red lantern that burned dimly. "If I told you a story of fear, you'd laugh. But if I told you a story of darkness, you might cry." As night deepened, they sipped tea and then heard a woman's voice softly calling. Tanmay stood up and asked, "Who's there?" But there was no answer. Only a white cloth fluttered under a tree near the dhaba. A stone bucket lifted by itself and overturned. Beneath it was a tiny handprint, but not a human one, as if made from cold clay. The dhaba owner spoke again. "She has awakened. She has chosen one among you." They tried to flee, but their car wouldn't start. Phones had no signal. The clock stopped at 12:01. Through the dhaba window appeared a face of a girl, eyes bloody, lips with an empty smile. She said, "You sit in the place where my husband burned me alive. I now return in that fire to burn new souls." Rahul suddenly vanished. Tanmay and Abhi searched frantically until they found him by a well. They called him, and as he turned, his face was gone, just a hollow pit. He said, "I've merged into her, now it's my turn." Tanmay fell and found a note. 3 came. "One is mine, one will vanish, and one will carry the tale." In the morning, police found Abhi unconscious by the well. There was no trace of Rahul or Tanmay. Abhi woke up and only uttered, "I haven't returned. I'm now her story." The dhaba's lantern suddenly lit itself. The familiar tune floated in the air. "Come, return me." Strange events began in Abhi's life. His reflection smirked at him in mirrors despite him not smiling. A call came at 12:01 a.m. "You've returned, but I linger in your shadow." Police officer Ghosh discovered a burnt diary behind the dhaba. "I am Ranu. Where is my child? I came from fire. My shadow spreads. Those who spend the night at the dhaba either become my child or the shadow." At the end of a page, there was an inscription. "Ghosh, it's your turn now." On Abhi's room wall was written, "Where is my mother?" Rana's spirit whispered, "Search for my son. You have 3 nights, or I take you forever." Ratan and Abhi went to an old ruined mansion. They found 3 graves, one newly dug. 3 hands emerged from them. One lives, one returns after death, and one gets entwined in the illusion. Abhi then disappeared. Ratan left a child's toy by the well. "You were a mother, now find peace." The fire flared up. Abhi returned, his gaze fixed on Ratan's eyes. But in those eyes was a shadow, on those lips Rana's smile. "Thank you, officer. I am reborn." A month later, the dhaba reopened. The new owner, Abhi. He chatted amiably with everyone but whispered at night, "Mom, new guests have arrived. Now it's their turn." The lantern flickered out. On the wall it was inscribed, "Shadows never end. They merely change form."